Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Survivor's Sanctuary series with Susan. I'm really glad you're here today. This is episode 7, Shame Was Not Your Fault, Releasing Self-Blame After Trauma. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge that some of these topics that I talk about, they may feel tender, especially if you are experiencing any form of domestic violence, emotional abuse, or any unsafe relationship. I want you to know that you are not responsible for another person's harmful behavior, and your safety comes first. I am a certified somatic trauma-informed coach. I am also a narcissist abuse specialist. I am not a licensed mental health professional, and this podcast is for education and support. Nothing shared here is meant to encourage actions that could put you at risk. Please trust your body and take only what feels supportive for you. As always, this is a space where you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to understand everything. You're allowed to simply listen and let the words land where they need to. Now, before we begin, I'd like you to take a nice gentle breath with me. Slowly breathing in through the nose, holding for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhaling longer. Let it out through your mouth slowly. Let your body know, just for this moment, it doesn't need to brace itself. Now, have you ever noticed that after trauma, the pain doesn't come from what happened, but from what you tell yourself about it? Thoughts like, why didn't I leave sooner? I should know better. What is wrong with me? That voice is not the truth. Today, we're talking about shame and self-blame, why they develop after trauma, how they live in the body, and how healing begins not by correcting yourself, but by understanding yourself. So, what is shame? Shame is not a character flaw. Shame is a protective response. It developed when the nervous system believed if something went wrong, it must be because of me. Why? Because believing it was my fault can feel safer than believing I have no control. Self-blame creates the illusion of control. And in unsafe environments, that illusion can feel stabilizing. So if you've turned trauma inward, your system was trying to help you survive uncertainty. It wasn't punishing you. In emotionally abusive or narcissistic dynamics, shame is often taught directly. You may have been blamed for someone else's behavior, told you were too sensitive, made responsible for someone else's emotions, made to feel that you're always overreacting. And over time, the nervous system absorbs this message. And you start thinking, if I were different, this wouldn't hurt. And slowly, shame becomes internalized. Not because it's true, but because it was repeated. Shame lives in the body. Shame is not just a thought. It's a physiological experience. And it often shows up as a collapsed posture, looking down or away, feeling that tightness in your chest and in your stomach, or even a desire to hide or just disappear. This is the nervous system responding to perceived social threat, and your body is saying, I'm not safe to be seen. And that response makes sense given what you've been through. Now, from an internal family systems perspective, there is often a part that carries shame. This part may say, if I blame myself, I can prevent this from happening again. And this part believes self-criticism equals protection. In emotionally abusive relationships, especially where coercive control and gaslighting are present, this protective part can become even stronger. When your reality is questioned or distorted, a part of you may step in and think, it must be me. Not because it's true, but because blaming yourself can feel safer than facing the instability of someone else's behavior. If it's your fault, then maybe you can fix it. Maybe you can stay safe. Now, we don't silence this part. We don't argue with it. We acknowledge its intention and gently offer it something better. Support, clarity, and the reminder that protection doesn't have to come through shame. A short conversation with this part might sound like, thank you for trying to protect me. I see how hard you're working. I know you think blaming me will keep us safe, but I'm here now, and you don't have to carry this alone. So what are you afraid would happen if you didn't take the blame? And then just listen. Not to prove it wrong, but to help this part feel less alone, less burdened, and slowly less convinced that shame is the only way to survive. Now let's talk about shifting from shame to safety and do a gentle practice together. If this doesn't feel right today, you are welcome just to listen. But if it feels right, go ahead and place a hand on your chest or your belly. And take in a slow, deep breath in through your nose, a longer exhale through your mouth. And now silently repeat in your mind or out loud after me. Something painful happened. Now just pause and sit with that for a moment. And repeat after me. The way I adapted makes sense. I don't need to punish myself to heal. Now begin to notice what happens in your body. You don't need relief, you don't need clarity, just noticing your body and how it feels. That's enough. Now, let's do a little emotional freedom technique tapping, if it feels supportive for you. And if not, again, please just listen. Now, I want you to understand when you're tapping, you're actually tapping on a meridian point. So that's like where they put the acupuncture needle. If any of you are familiar with having acupuncture, they're putting it on a meridian point in your body to stimulate the meridian, to allow energy to flow, to release stagnation. And one of the points that you can tap on today is your collarbone, and another point is on the outside of your hand by your pinky. If you feel inclined, let's begin tapping gently on your collarbone or the outside of your hand, whatever feels right for you. And I want you to tap with enough pressure that you feel it, not too hard, but not too soft. And as you're tapping, I want you to imagine if you were to throw a rock in the water, and you can see the ripple effect of the water where the rock lands. Well, that's what it looks like inside your body when you're tapping on these meridian points. It sends a vibration through the body to begin to release, as if you had a clogged drain, okay? So if you feel guided, let's go ahead and continue tapping on whatever points you chose. And I'd like you to repeat after me. Even though I've carried a lot of shame, I understand why my system did this. And I am now open to offering myself kindness instead of blame. And I am now open to offering myself kindness instead of blame. Now let that settle without forcing belief. Just take a deep breath in again through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth, and let your hands relax now. And begin to imagine in your mind a gentle warmth moving through your chest and your shoulders. It's not correcting you. It's not fixing you. It's a gentle healing light that's just reminding your body that you are allowed to exist without apologizing. This is how shame loosens, not through confrontation, but through safety. So here's a reframe I want you to hold gently. Self-blame does not mean you are weak. It means you are searching for meaning. And now you get to choose a new meaning, one that says, I adapted with the tools I had. This is not failure. This is resilience. This week, I invite you to notice when self-blame arises. Instead of correcting it, try saying, this is a part of me trying to protect me. And place a hand on your body. Compassion is not indulgence, it's regulation. So just take the time this week to notice when that self-blame arises and correct it gently by just noticing that it's protecting you. And if you feel inclined, you'll notice that you want to place your hand on a certain part of your body that's holding that shame. And that will help bring it gently into regulation. Now, as far as astrology, for those of you carrying shame and self-blame from anywhere, but also from abusive relationships, this week coming up, February 22nd through the 28th, invites reflection and gentle truth-telling. With Mercury retrograde energy in the mix, this is a powerful time to slow down, to revisit the stories you've been telling yourself, and question where those narratives began. Retrogrades aren't about punishment, they're about revision. So this week supports rewriting the inner script that says, it was my fault, and instead asking, what did I survive? Miscommunication, confusion, and resurfacing memories may arise, but they offer you an opportunity to reclaim your voice, to reconnect with your intuition, and to separate gaslighting from your own inner knowing. For those healing shame and self-blame, this week carries meaningful numerology support as well. In a universal year 1, we are in the energy of new beginnings and reclaiming identity. And when we add February, which is 2 to the 1 year, it becomes a universal 3 month. And that is an energy of expression and truth and gentle emotional release. So for survivors, this is powerful. Shame silences. A 3 month invites voice. It encourages you to speak differently to yourself, to name what happened without minimizing it, and to allow emotions to move rather than stay trapped in the body. While the 1 energy says, I get to begin again, the 3 adds, and I get to tell the truth about my experience. This is so supportive, this energy. It's great for journaling, sharing safely, creating, or simply acknowledging your feelings without judgment. Healing doesn't have to be heavy this month. It can include moments of lightness, self-expression, and remembering that your story belongs to you now. So if you have endured a relationship that challenged you again and again, please hear this. Your survival is not weakness. It is strength in motion. The ways you adapted and stayed quiet, over-explained, over-loved, you froze, you fawned, or blamed yourself, they're not flaws. They were intelligent responses from a nervous system trying to keep you safe. Your body was not working against you. It was protecting you in the only way it knew how. Now, the lessons may have repeated. The pain may have felt like a never-ending cycle. But your resilience has been quietly building all along. And now you are allowed to shift from surviving to healing. You are allowed to make amends with yourself, not by criticizing who you were, but by understanding. By learning how your body responded, you begin to see that nothing inside you was ever broken. It was protective. Now, if these are parts of you that you feel you need to forgive, the part that stayed, the part that doubted, the part that went back again and again, consider that they do not need punishment. Instead, these parts need befriending. They need your gratitude. You might simply say, "Thank you for protecting me the best way you knew how." My friend, you are worthy of safety, worthy of gentleness, worthy of love that does not require you to abandon yourself. And the fact that you're here, reflecting and healing, well, that's proof that your strength has never left you. Now, if shame and self-blame are deeply woven into your healing journey, and if you'd like deeper support and you'd like to work with me, I do work with clients who are rebuilding their self-worth and their compassion after trauma. Through trauma-informed somatic healing, I also use the EFT, hypnotherapy, guided meditations that are personalized, Reiki healing, and intuitive guidance. Now, my website's still being worked on, but I invite you to email me if you'd like to set up a session or even a discovery call. My email is in the description below. Now, I've created a guided hypnotherapy meditation along with some somatic practices to help the nervous system release shame safely and to come home to yourself. So if you'd like to join me in this guided meditation, well, let's find a comfortable place and let's begin. First, take in a nice, slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Finding a position that feels supportive to your body, whether it's sitting down or lying down, whatever feels safe for you right now. And if it feels okay, go ahead and gently place one hand over your heart and the other hand on your belly or beside you or your thighs. And if touch feels like too much, just let your hands rest wherever they feel comfortable doing so. Remember, you're in control. Let's take another slow, deep breath in through your nose, pausing gently at the top. And exhale slowly through your mouth longer than the inhale. Feeling your shoulders begin to drop and your jaw begin to loosen. Again, a nice, slow, deep breath in through your nose, letting your lungs expand. And exhale slowly through your mouth. The longer exhale tells your nervous system and the vagus nerve, I am not in immediate danger. I am safe enough in this moment. Now, as you settle in, imagine the larger rhythms moving around you. Feeling this gentle energy overflowing through your body. And if we think about astrology, it reminds us that we're always in cycles. And if you are listening to this during Mercury retrograde, this is not a time of punishment. It is a time of reflection. A time when old conversations and memories and inner narratives rise up so that they can be revised. And if shame has resurfaced, it may not be here to hurt you. It may be here to be rewritten. Numerology also reflects this energy right now. In a universal year one, we are in a cycle of new beginnings, reclaiming your identity, redefining yourself. And in a universal 3-month, the energy supports expression and truth and emotional release. You are not revisiting the past to stay there. You are revisiting it to free yourself from it. Silently say to yourself, I am allowed to rewrite my story. And let your body feel the possibility of that. Now begin to notice the surface beneath you. Feel how your body is supported without effort. And if you tend to carry shame, your body may believe, there is something wrong with me. If I were stronger, I would have left. If I were better, I would have been treated better. This belief did not come from truth. It came from survival. Shame is what happens when pain has nowhere safe to go. So silently repeat these words after me. This shame is not proof. This shame is not proof. And just let your body hear that and feel that. Now bring your attention to your posture and notice if your shoulders are slumped forward, or if your head tilts downward, or if your chest feels collapsed or heavy. This is the body's instinct to make itself smaller, to hide, to stay safe. There is nothing weak about this. It is a survival posture. Gently, without forcing, begin to allow your spine to lengthen just a fraction. And let your shoulders roll back 1 centimeter. Not to be confident, just to be present. And silently say, I don't have to disappear to be safe. I don't have to disappear to be safe. Now begin to bring awareness to your chest and your belly. And notice if you feel responsible for someone else's moods. Notice if you feel responsible for someone else's happiness. And do you feel responsible for someone else's pain? If you learn to blend with another's emotions, your body learned, if I feel what they feel, I can prevent harm. And that was not weakness. That was attunement used for survival. Now silently say, I learned this to stay safe. I learned this to stay safe. And just let that land without any argument. Now I'd like you to bring to mind the part of you that blames yourself. The part that says, I should have known. I should have done better. I failed. Notice where this part lives in your body. Notice what age this part is. And silently let this part know the age you are now. You might notice they look surprised. Now silently say to this part, I see how hard you try. You blame me because you think it gives control. You thought shame would protect me. Now let this part know by silently saying, you don't have to carry this anymore. Blame is not safety. Now you are not rejecting this part, you're relieving it. And if this is Mercury retrograde season, which it is, imagine gently revising this part's role. It no longer has to rewrite the past. Instead, it can help you write a new, bright, beautiful future. Notice what happens in your body when you think, if If I were less sensitive, this wouldn't have happened. Feel the contraction, the heaviness, the collapse. Now gently offer a new truth. Sensitivity did not cause abuse. Repeat this silently in your mind. My nervous system responded to harm. My nervous system responded to harm. It's not sensitivity that caused the abuse. Let your body feel the difference. Even a small shift is enough. Now, if it feels supportive, gently begin to tap on your collarbone or the side of your hand. And as you tap, gently repeat after me. Even though I feel shame and self-blame, I honor how I survived. Even though I stayed, it doesn't mean something's wrong with me. My responses were intelligent adaptations. I am allowed to forgive myself. Now breathe, just breathe. And let the tapping stop when it wants to. Bringing awareness now to your hands and your feet. Gently let your body press into the surface beneath you. And feel, I am here now. I have a choice now. And silently say, what happened does not define my worth. I am not a failure. I was coping. Your body begins to relearn agency, not through force, but through presence. Now imagine offering yourself forgiveness, not as words, but as warmth, a gentle presence that says, you did the best you could with what you knew. You stayed because leaving wasn't safe yet. You survived. You did what you had to do. Let this forgiveness settle into your shoulders and your chest and your belly. Now, because we're in a universal year one, go ahead and imagine this forgiveness as a doorway that opens up to a new beginning. And in this universal 3-month, imagine that it's a breath moving emotion out of the body. Just let your body soften. But notice if it resists. Both are okay. Forgiveness is not a moment, it's a practice. Now carry this self-compassion for yourself forward and take one final slow breath in and a long, steady breath out. Begin to feel the surface beneath you again, gently moving your fingers and your toes. And as you return, remember that you are not broken. You are in a cycle of revision and renewal. And your body has been trying to protect you all along. And know this, my friend, shame is not truth. Self-blame is not accountability. Staying does not mean you are broken. You are adapting in a situation that harmed you. You are allowed to forgive yourself. You are allowed to stand taller, slowly. And you are allowed to come home to yourself with love and kindness. You can return to this practice whenever shame arises. You were never the problem. Notice that you showed yourself kindness today, even by listening. And that matters more than you think. Next week, we'll be talking about self-trust and how trauma disconnects us from our intuition and how to begin rebuilding trust with your body and your inner voice. Until then, be gentle with yourself, be kind to your nervous system, and please remember to take only what feels supportive for you. Move at your own pace and prioritize your safety above all else. You are allowed to protect yourself, and you are not alone. Shame was learned, and anything learned can be unlearned, slowly, safely, and with care. Thank you for being here in Survivor's Sanctuary series with Susan. Have a wonderful and blessed week ahead. Love and hugs. Till next time.